Hi guys, welcome back to Nico Talks Hockey. We're doing standings predictions again. Last video I went over the Western Conference standings predictions for the upcoming 2025-26 NHL season, and today we're going over the Eastern Conference standings predictions, going through both the Atlantic and the Metropolitan division. So without further ado, I just want to get right into it. I want to start with the Atlantic division. Starting at number 8, this is the most controversial division, I think, by far. There's so many good teams in this division, but I had to take some swings here. At number 8, I do think it's the Boston Bruins. I know that some people will have the Boston Bruins, quickly, regaining their composure and going right back into the playoffs. Yeah, maybe they're a wild card team, but they'll be back in. I just don't see it that way. I know that some people say that Pastrnak will, he's still there, and Swayman will have a bounce back season, which I do think he'll have somewhat of a bounce back season. And McAvoy, he'll maybe have a bounce back season as well. I think there's too many variables for me to bank on, and I think the Bruins, when you really look at it and you look past the aura that the Bruins bring, which is this always competitive team, I think you see the lineup for what it is, and it's just not all that impressive. So it's okay. I think that's okay. Like if a generational or near generational prospect in Gavin McKenna is waiting for you at the end of it, I think you can have another season where you just struggle. So I think that's okay. I think they're going to be competitive. I don't think they're going to be like the worst team in the East. Not even close. But at number 8, I do have the Boston Bruins. At number 7, I do have the Buffalo Sabres. I really, 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 really want the Sabres to prove me wrong. I want them to make playoffs. They're a team that I root for, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. And even if I did see it, I don't think that they deserve my prediction for them to make it. Past couple seasons, I've predicted they would finally break through. But whether it's the goaltending in one year, that just messes the bed and just lets down the team, or the next year it's the forward core. They're not scoring enough goals. The defense was good, but the forward core is just not good enough. And then last season it's the defense. They scored like top 10 goals in the league, but they couldn't stop a goal. So I don't know. I'd like to think that this year, I actually, after a lot of thought, hated the Paterka trade at first, but I thought that what they got back in Kesselring and Doan was actually a decent return, because what they need is someone who's more of a shutdown presence in their top 4 defense. So Kesselring is absolutely that. Right shot defenseman. Yeah, so it was a really good ad there, with Doan being another young prospect. So if they were going to get anything back, I guess you want to address the thing that sucked the most last season. Good. So I guess good return there, but losing Paterka sucks. They're going to have to hope that Benson takes a big next step, and Yuri Kulich, I think I'm pronouncing that right, Kulich, that he also has a presence from the get-go this season. So there's a lot of variables, just like the Bruins, for everything that has to go right for them to have a great season. And I think it's another season where the Buffalo Sabres just fall short again of the playoffs. Love to be proven wrong again. And watch this be the season where I finally say, nope, they're not making it. This will be the one they make it. Clip that if that happens. At number 6, I have the Detroit Red Wings. Sucks, but it's I think it's what's going to happen. Eventually, I'm going to be making it towards the end of this month of September. I'm going to be making a 32 bold predictions, one for every team video. And one of the predictions I have, the prediction I have for the Red Wings, is that I think Steve Yzerman, finally gets fired and is no longer the GM of the Detroit Red Wings, which would suck. I think that at times he can be a really good GM, but other times he can't. And I think it finally catches up to him if they miss playoffs again this year. I think he gets the boot, which is really disappointing, because I think he's a really cool dude. I think he's I love the way he built the Tampa Bay Lightning. I really wanted success for him here in Detroit, where he won cups as a player, but it's not what I envisioned happening. Number 5, a team just missing the playoffs because of the 4 teams above this team right here, I think will all make the playoffs. At number 5, I have the Tampa Bay Lightning, missing the playoffs for the first time in like a long while. I just think age catches up to the core here. I think Hedman regresses a little bit more. Vazzy would have to have a really good season for them to, I think, make playoffs here. I think that he'll have an okay season, but maybe he doesn't have, maybe he's got like a close to 900 season, maybe a 905 or something. And I don't know if that'll be enough. Their top 6 is awesome. I do expect a little bit of regression from Hagel. You look at his shooting percentage last season, and it was off the charts. So I think maybe a little bit of regression there for him might contribute to the Lightning just missing the playoffs here. At number 4, I do think they'll make the playoffs, but it's going to be close. I have them in wild card 2 position. It's the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think that the loss of Marner, coupled with, I think their style of play shifting from more of a playoff caliber team, but less of a regular season, like successful team. I think that shift, that Craig Berube's style of hockey, that shift is going to happen. So it's going to be, I think they're going to actually, if they make the playoffs, I think the playoffs might go a little bit better for them. But I also think that it's going to be much more difficult to make it to said playoffs. So yeah, I have them finishing in the wild card. It'll be an interesting race, I think, because a lot of people will be wishing on their and praying on their downfall, and for them to miss it. But yeah, Leafs at number 4 in the Atlantic Division. At number 3, I have the Montreal Canadiens. I think they'll improve from a wildcard team to a team that's squarely in the top 3 of their division. Definitely am not the biggest believer in Sam Montembeault. I have a lot of question marks about him as like a number 1 goalie, but Hudson, I don't really expect much of a sophomore slump for him. Davidov is going to have very likely a Calder winning season in my prediction. I think that if they can just, like Bolduc, I really like that ad. I think that he's going to work nicely in their top 6. Slavkovsky keeps improving. Suzuki and Caulfield have similar seasons to what they had last season. Yeah, they'll improve. Dobson is going to be a great ad for them. So yeah, definitely have them improving on last season and finishing at number 3 in the Atlantic. At number 2, Florida Panthers. They're a team that does not need to win the division. They know that whatever the place they finish, as long as they get in the playoffs, they've got a great shot to go on another run and win the Stanley Cup. Their sights are absolutely set at not doing good in the regular season. Who cares? Make the playoffs and then go and win the 3rd cup in a row. The first team to do that in like decades, like actual decades. I think it's the first team to do it since the Flyers in like the 70s or something like that. 70s or 80s. Gotta brush up my history here for Stanley Cups. But I know the Flyers. Oh, sorry, not the Flyers. The Islanders. The New York Islanders. It wasn't the Flyers, it was the Islanders. Islanders won like 4 cups in a row. I think it was, I think it was the 70s. It could have been the 80s though. But anyway, I digress. The Panthers are going to go for something that is unbelievable. I think they've got the best shot at it, more than anybody in any type of recent history. So yeah, they're going to finish at number 2 in the Atlantic. And at number 1, the Ottawa Senators. The Ottawa Senators, this is a bit of a surprise, I'm sure, to some people. Some people probably have them slipping out of the playoffs. Maybe they're the team that falls out, and the Lightning are able to make it in. But the Ottawa Senators, in my opinion, are going to be one of the biggest surprises of this season. I have them, I'm very high on them this season. I think that, it's going to have just fantastic seasons from everybody across the board. I think that the defense looks awesome. I love the addition of Spence from the LA Kings. That trade was awesome. I think that Sanderson's going to really prove to everyone that he's like a top 20, like clear-cut top 20 defenseman in the league today. It's just, I like everything. I like their goaltending. I like their defense. Love their offense. This team is going to surprise everybody in a very competitive Atlantic Division, but also a little volatile, right? There's no places that are assured, I think, except maybe the Panthers. But yeah, Senators at number 1 in the Atlantic. And then let's move on to the Metro Division. So in the Metropolitan Division, this is the team that I not only think is the worst, going to be the worst Eastern Conference team, but it's going to be the worst team in the entire league. Number 32. It's the Pittsburgh Penguins. I think that it could even happen as soon as like November. We could see some trades. Rust is going to go. Raquel is going to go. I do believe Erik Karlsson is going to go. You trade those three, you don't really have a team anymore. You've got Crosby, obviously, and Crosby's going to stay, in my opinion. I do believe Crosby will stay. I think that he will ride out into the sunset, even if it's a very bleak sunset at this moment for the Pittsburgh Penguins. I think that he will remain a Pittsburgh Penguin for life. But this Malkin's last season, right? I think this could be Letang's last season. It'll probably have one more after this, but they're it's the old man club at this point. And then Jari will be the tank commander. I think that he will be doing just fine as someone who helps the Penguins do their best to get Gavin McKenna. So once they trade all those people away, they're gonna be, I think, well ahead of every other team in their pursuit to tank. Moving on to number 7, I have the New York Islanders. Another bad season from them, and coming worse than last season. I think it's gonna be really bad. I think their offense will probably be the worst in the NHL. There's no Crosby on this team. I think that you can't ever count on Barzal having a really healthy season. Schaefer, if he plays this season, which I think he will, I think he was signed. And I think he'll play a little bit, but I don't expect crazy things out of him this first season. I don't expect anything world beating. That defense pair of Pelech and Pulock, I think is definitely out to pasture. I think it is it's not a pairing that works anymore. I don't even know if they're actually paired anymore, but I think both of those players are just so past their prime. Losing Dobson, there's just no one really good in defense anymore. And then the offense just looks so anemic. You got no Nelson. All their young guys like Eklund and Cole Eiserman, and I just think that they're not gonna be playing this season. So they're gonna be in the juniors or in the AHL. And so this team is going to be built for tanking. I don't think I don't think Matthew Darche is admitting it yet, but I think his plan is to tank this season. I don't know if it's going to be a long-term tank. I actually don't think it is going to be, but just this season at least, they're going to go for Gavin McKenna. I think the Penguins will beat them in that regard, but I think they're going to be quite bad. Islanders, bottom 3 in the league, and 7th in the Metro Division. At number 6, a team that will be worse without John Tortorella. It's the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, that doesn't mean I want John Tortorella to still be the coach of this team. I just think that John Tortorella got the most out of his players and got the most out of the roster. I think he was terrible for development. And the Flyers really should be tanking. They should be a team that's they're still a good 1 or 2 blue chip prospects away from finishing their rebuild. So they've got too many kind of mid-tier prospects. So in my opinion, this is probably what's best for them. They finished at 6, but still bottom 6 or 7, bottom 6 or 7 places in the league. I think they're going to be pretty bad this season. But I look at the Metro Division. I think the bottom half of this division is going to be quite bad, actually. It's the top of the half of the division is quite competitive, but the bottom half is very, very dismal. So yeah, Flyers. I like Zegras. I think that was a really good ad. It's a good bet to take, but this is a team. This roster just isn't there yet. It's a good few years away from being there. So Rick Tocchet, will add some more defensive structure probably and allow his team to just a different mentality instead of just being under Tort's tyrannical rule. But Flyers number 6. They'll get a good prospect and a good shot at McKenna, which is what they need. At number 5, just missing the playoffs, I expect big regression from this team. It's the Washington Capitals. I think that Ovi, now that his chase for Gretzky's goal total record Now that's over. I think that, yeah, he'll put up maybe 20 goals, maybe, but that's it. I don't expect too much, and he's their best goal scorer. It's just that, yeah, like Tom Wilson is no longer the Tom Wilson of old. Um, I expect kind of a regression season actually for Logan Thompson. It's just everything I think regresses for the Caps. They overperformed last season. Everyone knew it. I'm sure even Washington fans know it. It's kind of sucky. I know that, like, for Washington fans, I'm sure they want them to make the playoffs instead of just go for McKenna. But especially because this is likely Ovi's last season. But yeah, I don't think that's in the cards. I think Capitals finished just outside the playoffs, number 5 in the Metro Division. At number 4 in the Metro Division, I think they're gonna make playoffs here. Every team I say after this will be making playoffs along with this team. It's the Blue Jackets. The Columbus Blue Jackets finishing at number 4. This team is on the rise. I see some people thinking that no, they'll finish similar to last season, maybe even a little worse. I don't think that's the case. I really don't. I think that Jet Greaves, big believer in Jet Greaves, he is likely to take over full time this season, the number 1 spot, and push Merzlikins into more of a backup role for that, the goaltending tandem. I like that they were able to keep Provorov. Werenski, as long as he can stay healthy, will still be awesome and be Zach Werenski. And their forward core, I mean, Marchenko, Fantilli, Jenner, Sean Monahan, Voronkov. They've got some hitters. They've got. I haven't even named some players who are really good in that forward group there. So yeah, I think that they make a wild card spot. Nothing crazy. Maybe wild card 1 is what I'm predicting here. So yeah, Blue Jackets at number 4. At number 3, the Carolina Hurricanes. Now I don't have them finishing at like the number 1 or number 2 spot. I still think they're comfortably in the playoffs, but maybe they look at it as like just kind of like the Dallas Stars, where it's like we finished Final Four the last, I think 2 of the last 3 seasons. What do we got to do? What do we got to do to get over the hump? Well, maybe we take it a little bit easier, take the foot off the gas a little bit in the regular season, and then the playoffs save a little bit more up. So yeah, I think the Carolina Hurricanes are going to be a great team. They're going to be a good team. But yeah, number 3. Nothing too crazy in the Hurricanes. I think they'll try and save some gas for the postseason. At number 2, there's final 2 teams in the Metro. At number 2, the New York Rangers. Big bounce back is what I'm betting on for the New York Rangers this season. I think that Mike Sullivan, one of the best coaches in the league still, I still believe that. I think that he will do wonders for this team. You look at this team, if they can just have some bounce backs from like Zibanejad and Fox a little bit. Shesterkin, if he stays at the level he's been staying at, obviously it would help if he has an even better season than recently. But yeah, they just need a couple bounce backs, but like minor bounce backs. This team is different. They've got Gavrikov now, who should be an awesome shutdown presence on their blue line. They got rid of the people that kind of were plaguing their blue line last season, which was Keandre Miller, not working for them, and definitely, oh my gosh, he's with the Avalanche now. Or at least he was with the Avalanche. Rangers fans in the comments, tell me who I'm missing, but it was another Lindgren. Ryan Lindgren. It always comes to me, right? Ryan Lindgren is a player who's no longer on their team, and they're all the happier for it. So Rangers, they're going to have a great season. They come in at number 2. It's going to be good for them, too, because their cup window is very short here. They need to win the cup soon because their core is old. Number 1, best team in the Metro Division. And I haven't decided if they're going to be the best team in the East. They're either first or the second best team in the East, the New Jersey Devils. I think they're going to have a relatively injury-free season, and that's what they need. They need Nico Hischier and Jack Hughes and Dougie Hamilton to all have relatively injury-free seasons, and then they could really show what this team is made of, because I love how they're built. I think the defense is really impressive. Love Markstrom as their number 1 goalie, and their top 6 looks dangerous with Bratt and Hughes and Hischier and Meyer. If he can just be a little bit more consistent. I still believe in Mercer as someone who is like borderline top 6. So yeah, I think Devils win the Metro Division, and if they can stay injury free, which I'm betting on that they do, they'll show everyone who the real New Jersey Devils can be. But that has been the video. That is the Eastern Conference standings predictions. The entire Eastern Conference. Now I've done the Western Conference and I've done the Eastern Conference. My next video will be covering my playoff predictions using these teams and who I think finishes in the playoffs. Then where do they finish in the postseason, and kind of trying to predict who will be the Stanley Cup winner for 2026. Many months out, obviously. Just going through it really quick, just to recap. In the Atlantic, number 8, Boston Bruins. Number 7, Buffalo Sabres. Number 6, Detroit Red Wings. Number 5, the Lightning, and making the playoffs. And number 4, the Leafs. Number 3, the Montreal Canadiens. And number 2, the Florida Panthers. And number 1, the Tukachuk brothers teams finished at 1 and 2. At number 1 is the Ottawa Senators. In the Metro Division, at number 8, the Pittsburgh Penguins. At number 7, the New York Islanders. At number 6, Philadelphia Flyers. Number 5, the Washington Capitals. And then above the playoff line, you got number 4, Columbus Blue Jackets. Number 3, Carolina Hurricanes. And number 2, the New York Rangers. And number 1, the New Jersey Devils. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so happy that I finally released my standings predictions to you guys. I've had these in the makings and in the books for a little bit here. And I'm just, it's September. It's the middle of September, so it's perfect time, I think, to release some standings predictions. If you like the video, please consider subscribing. That would mean truly so much to me. And I will see you guys in the next video.